You are watching the New Orleans TV Internetwork System. Live programming will begin in less than 5 minutes. Live programming will begin in less than 5 minutes. The New Orleans TV Internetwork System broadcast simultaneously on live streaming Facebook Live under my name down at the bottom right there. You can hopefully read it. It'll be your left corner, sorry. And on my YouTube channel by the name of R space REVUE. For those who don't know, that's the name of our production company, and that's what that little ant with the red star is above us in the top right corner, as well as the giant ant in behind us. But the giant ant behind you will always give you indication of which show. So again, broadcasting will start in, seems like 4 minutes. We will be presenting our morning edition of Rant Revue. Rant Revue. Hence the megaphone for the ant and myself to hopefully not yell, but to get the message out. For those who are not familiar with the program, it's a not so talk show where you will normally be allowed to call in. This morning we don't have that number published because we have a special guest coming on who will detail information about the topic that we started yesterday. Will continue for a while. When the guest is finished her presentation and any more chit chat is available with her, then we will flash the number up if you're not familiar with it. And if you can't call in, we can take your call. Now, our only problem is we don't have a queue. And if you go to the queue, it'll be a waiting system. So either you will go to a voice message or they'll just keep ringing, which hopefully doesn't happen more than a few seconds. You will have to, or excuse me, probably not be ringing. Perhaps we'll be busy if I'm on the call still with our guest or anyone else. So that just triggers you to, if you don't mind, if you're not watching, to just wait a few minutes and call back. And as long as we have time, we certainly will entertain your call. Again, in addition to calling, which is our great new feature, which makes it more like a talk show or call-in show per se, we also allow you to, or at least not allow you to, we are able to capture your public, not private, comments or chat on your individual platform that you're watching, Facebook or YouTube. Those will appear on our screen. We will certainly try, unless it's just a hello, if we have chance. If we're not having during the guest thing, we'll certainly recognize those and give, as they love to say, the shout out. But if not, if it's a germane question, especially to the topic, we will flash it and put it on the screen and ask it to the guest so she can answer accordingly. Okay? So that's how it works. You can call in after the guest, and we'll put that number up for the rest of the show after we finish. And also, you can comment or chat. Okay, we'll have a moment of silence, a little bit less than a moment, maybe let's give it a little bit less than a minute, and we'll actually start the show. So, as they say, commits among yourselves. Be happy to see if you're watching to make a comment right there before we even start. We'd love to see our audience grow and pay attention. Again, we will announce the topic if you haven't seen the first two shows on it as soon as we go live. So momentarily we'll go live, announce that topic, and tell you what's on tap for this morning's show. You're watching the New Orleans TV Internetwork System. Okay, welcome to Rant Revue. This is our, right now, we're trying it out. It's our daily, morning and afternoon, not so talk show from 10 in the morning to 11 at the max, 2 to 3 at the max. Usually it's a half an hour. We don't get enough callers. But we've got a great topic about a sad situation, and the sad situation involving the world. That's the crisis. So we're not going to bring you down with all the depressing news of that, except to know New Orleans being such a food mecca, and our people alone, not just for tourists, our residents are very dependent on the vast portfolio of restaurants that we have. And guess what, folks? Since a couple of days now, they have been shut down. Now, some of the restaurants have actually gone to the extreme of shutting down altogether and will not reopen until the all clear, or hopefully will reopen in, maybe not at all, depending on how bad a toll this crisis takes on their situation. But most or a lot are actually opening not for you to dine in, but to be able to sample their food in somewhat of a to go basis. And we're going to, what we do in the afternoon show is survey the restaurants that I actually will call restaurants. I did part of the ones on my normal contact, and I did 80K yesterday, and find out their particulars. And we will, by the 2 o'clock show, tell you those. We're getting a little bit more better organized than that. Our wonderful council lady, Cindy Nguyen of the East E District, has already compiled a list, and our council president, pastor now, is actually Helena Moreno, is doing a similar thing, and most of those are coming from the New Orleans general area. Cynthia, the East. We will dedicate a whole show to going over each district that we get the information on district by district. So we will either be doing the District E tomorrow. No, excuse me, we set it for Monday at the 2 p.m. show. Okay, Monday at 2 p.m. If you want to know if you live in the East, what restaurants are open. Now, as we said, we are waiting our caller, our first and only, well, not first and only caller, but our known caller, and her name is Chef Cindy or Cynthia. I think she goes by Cynthia. Yeah, Cynthia, she's preferred, of Cafe Minh. Now, for those who have, Cafe Minh's been a long in our tradition. Went through several iterations way back in different locations, different scales and focus, and it went through other additional restaurants. Finally, it's all been focused on Cafe Minh, which is basically in mid-city New Orleans on our famous Canal Street, a block off of Carrollton Avenue. For those who've never been, there is unfortunately, there's not a parking lot per se, but easy parking on the street. And after hours, you can park at the adjacent. There's a bank right across the street. You just step into that. They do allow for parking there. So after hours. So if you come in evening dining, you can also find a place there without having to pay. That's the key. We don't want you to get a ticket or have to go look all around. All right. As we said, we're waiting the call of Chef Cynthia of Cafe Minh, which is certainly Vietnamese influence, since both chefs, she and Minh Bui, our co-partner, are Vietnamese Americans. And so there's that influence. However, it's far from the typical Vietnamese restaurant. Not that there's anything wrong with that. The restaurant itself also has great New Orleans food and some with different, a lot with Asian variations to make it even more entertaining in a beautiful ambiance. So it's a comfortable restaurant, a little upscale, but not certainly unaffordable. And it's not a really large restaurant, but it can accommodate both parties. We're a big frequent of it. That's why she was kind enough to come in today, because there's some important news she wants to tell you about the operation of her restaurant during the crisis. The good thing, the main good thing, of course, is they will be open for business, as business is going to be explained to you, her business, when she comes on. So again, I think she's scheduled to come on around 10 after 10. So we got about 5 minutes. So let me talk a little bit more about her restaurant. Oh, in fact, that's going to be, what's really nice is that she's agreed to also do, not today, one of our other shows. You know, on NOTVIN, we have 15 right now scheduled programs that only require guests to appear. or the schedule, and then we broadcast to you for that. So we have a wide variety, and the very famous original restaurant, I'd say very famous original restaurant show is called Restaurant Review, which only features chefs and restaurants in the New Orleans area. It's how we started way back on cable TV. But today, we are reinstituting. Today, we also talk to chefs around the globe and around the USA. We have special shows, not to confuse you, related to that with different names. So, Chefs Cynthia has agreed to come on Restaurant Review, and hopefully it'll be next week. There's some prep materials she's got to present. Obviously, she's got to give us digital pics of close up of her dishes, so you can see. We'll talk about some of this today, but again, once again, we're not showing pictures today, so you got to just visualize it. We will re-emphasize it when she comes on Restaurant Review in a lot more detail as we go dish by dish. Also show you some pictures of what the restaurant looks like, so you'll recognize it from the street if you haven't seen it. It is a free-form building, an old two-story building. Previously was a kind of a burger joint, local burger joint with a funny kind of financial twist. We're not going to go with that. That's all way pre-Katrina. But Cafe Minh has been open in the sites, and maybe she'll tell us. Obviously, post-Katrina, which is quite some time right now, almost maybe 15 years. We'll find out exactly when they first opened, so you'll know. But it's been a landmark because again, it's not catered to just people who are looking for Vietnamese food. There's plenty of other restaurants that do that, but if you are looking for it, they do a bang up job, and you'll see next week what dishes they have on the menu. In fact, even today, we'll talk a little bit about some of those dishes that are uniquely Vietnamese. As I said, folks, we are waiting. We're going to be doing on the morning show today, we're going to be interviewing our chef Cynthia of Cafe Minh. She's going to be telling us what they're doing since the crisis hit so that you can actually obtain their food. And also she has some additional comments on the menu. So she's going to give us some good details. In the afternoon show at 2 p.m., we will give you a result. I will get on the phone after this and call, just from my contacts, restaurants in the L to Z alphabetical name to find out how they are open and what service they're providing for you. So we will be anxious to bring that to you. Let's see what else we got here. So as I say, please stay tuned. Hopefully tell your friends and all, because there's not a lot of, I know about restaurants. So there's food shows. There's some radio shows, you have to hear the radio. Here's one where you can actually, now you can't see Cynthia today because she's just calling it on the phone. You will see her in full vision on our show next week, Restaurant Review. But it's important to hear from her, since this is a talk show. We don't bring the guest online. Most people don't want to be on. All of our other shows, usually there's a co-host or a guest, permanent guest, and or the caller can be brought online visually as well as audibly. Most people do not want to, so we stick with just letting them use the phone. We do have a local number, which, as I said, we will put up on the screen once we finish our discussion with Cynthia. I don't think it'll go the whole hour, but at the same time, who knows? We want her to give as much detail as she's able to spare, so that you'll see how you can avail yourself of her and her husband's food. And I'm telling you, it's well worth it. The food, if you've never been, and it's coupled by a magnificent, very comfortable, lovely ambiance. Always one of the things that, going by the wayside, these bistros, of course, no tablecloths. There's always one here. And what's really nice is flowers often on the fresh flowers on the table. That is really hard to find. They have them at the greeting station or the bar, but very few are going to the trouble and the expense of putting a small arrangement on your table. Now, like I say, they're saving that for when you come back, because no one's going inside during the crisis. But we are still awaiting. Like I say, it should be momentarily. It looks like 10 after 10, so we should be hearing the call. Hopefully, she hasn't forgotten the number. But she said she had it, so we said, well, I just spoke to her about an hour ago on my regular cell, and she's all set to come on at this time. Again, not everybody's being a chef, and even though she's not got customers at the moment, chefs, get up early and work long hours to prepare. So all this food that they want to offer to you, they still have to prepare it. It's not customized to when you're there, other than these special items. So they do have to prepare some of the basic foods that they know people will order, and that is taking some time. So we're hoping she'll call again. I apologize for the delay, but it's only momentarily. So let's give her about 3 or 4 more minutes, and then I will see if I could. I hate to call her because it really is a situation where I'd have to call on the phone, and that would be interrupting the show. We don't want to do that. So we're going to keep hoping for the best. As I said, we and any other restaurateurs or the chefs, the managers, or some representative that can speak are welcome to call the shows. Not when we have a presenter like today, not during that part, but certainly after that, and at our afternoon shows where we're not doing a presentation. I'm just reading you information and details about surveys we do on the restaurants, so you'll know if any that you want to try or you like. We'll know whether they're open or not for the duration. What are the availabilities of food for you? So at any of those times, any of you chefs or people associated want to call in and talk about your individual situation, it's fine. If you have a distinct menu in addition to your limitation and you want to go on that, we could probably do a separate show. But we would like you to come on. If you're going to detail menu items for some length, then we would like to have you scheduled on one of these shows and/or doing a restaurant review show, so people can either hear the current, if you're doing a special or limited menu, and two, see what the overall menu looks like, as well as hear it from you under our regular programming restaurant review. Again, folks, I'm Bob Bockelman, which is not important. We're at Rant Revue, which is your chance normally to call in and talk about it. At this point, of course, I should have always said we have kind of 3 or 4 taboos. One is vulgar language, which I define. 2, malicious content about someone or topic. 3, neither sports, politics, or religion, because those, not only they're very passionate and meaningful to most of us, at the same time they're covered by most other talk shows, and usually, unfortunately, has some negative associated. We're trying to be upbeat as much as we can, especially now during this crisis where we've got the outside world and all of its problems. And so specifically, we know, since I started with restaurants in the beginning back in 2000, it's always been my focus. I to say I don't know how to cook, how you like that. So I do eat out a lot, or with family or friends, and therefore I have gotten to know the community and always looking for new restaurants to tell to you all, as well as patronizing ones I like or some of our established restaurants. So it's very important that we keep as many of these restaurants in business that want to give it a try. And hopefully, even though we keep hearing more and more naysayers about the length of this situation, hopefully it will materialize, or not unmaterialize, within a couple of weeks, and we can get back to somewhat norm. This new norm is dreadful, where you might have to be home, you can't go to work. Yeah, of course, you might enjoy your company of your family, which is always enjoyable. But after a few days or so, being locked 24/7, no matter who you with, gets you get a little antsy. Fortunately, you can go out and do a little exercise. The weather is warm enough and beautiful. Again, starting to get a little too hot in the afternoons, but you can either exercise or take advantage of something you normally don't see except through a window. So it's a great alternative. Or gardening. We're trying to get our gardening show together. If you know anyone, one last plea to you all. We're we're trying to get a co-host for the garden. Let's see if we can. I'm going to go ahead and see what's happened here. I do have a voicemail. Let me see. Again, I do apologize, but chefs are sometimes busy people.
Please enter your password.
Let's see. If
You have one new voice message and
All right.
one saved messages. New message. Hello again. We haven't heard back from you yet.
Okay, here we go.
It's a great day to chat with you about options that can lower your payment, get you cash out, and match or even reduce your existing term. Yes, we can write our terms in any one-year increment. Perhaps you are thinking that hasn't done a refinance.
Good morning, good morning. Cynthia, we've been waiting anxiously for you. How are you?
Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Oh, well, we were sweating it there because we were hoping you would still be able to make it. I was making as many excuses as possible about how busy you all are, even if your doors aren't physically open, because you still got to do preparation. So
yes.
I've given a little background about the restaurant while I've had the time. And I also have explained to the audience, which will really be nice, that you've tentatively agreed to actually do our regular show, which is Restaurant Review, whereby you'll come on and we'll actually see pictures, about 20 pictures of your food itself. So that's always adding the visual to the description is always an important part in getting people to try your food or to try different dishes that they may not. So we're going to be announcing that as we work that out. But we really appreciate you helping us out in this situation. So I've explained to you. Go ahead. I've explained to the audience, and you're going to tell us first of all what is your new operation going forward. And I understand you have some new information on your menu. So why don't we start from there? Why don't we give? I never know the address. I'm a typical New Orleans. I know residents. I did tell them you're on famous Canal Street, and 1 block off of South or North Carrollton. And unfortunately, on the corner, I couldn't remember the name of the street. So I don't have your.
David.
Okay. Why don't we give you? What is your address on Canal Street or the side street?
Our address is 4139 Canal Street,
okay.
And it's right next to Capital One Bank. You can't miss it.
I told them that. I told them that I think they can park even though there's no parking lot at the restaurant. There's street parking, and in the evening, I think you can park in the bank's parking lot, so that way they won't have to worry about walking for or any kind of other situation. It's certainly not paying for parking if they can avoid it. So that's what's great. What's the zip code in case someone wants to track it if they're not from New Orleans or not familiar? What is the zip code of your restaurant?
The zip code is 70119.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Now, we're not going to go into details of what you did before. We want to concentrate on now. So since the virus has taken over, or at least quarantined us, how are you all? We're so pleased that you will be all open. Tell us whether you're going to be open for lunch and dinner with regard to providing, and how will people be able to contact you to place an order? Go ahead and give us that information, please.
Well, you can call us at the restaurant number, and that number will give it out later. Soon we get all this menu coming out for you guys.
Okay, all right.
Right now we create a small menu and affordable for everybody.
Okay, but before, let's start with hours. When will this menu be available?
Yes, our hours at lunch is we open from 11:30 until 2:30.
Okay.
And then we're gonna take a short break. And for dinner, we will open early at 4:30 until 8 o'clock, Monday to Friday. And Saturday, we do dinner only, which is 4:30 until 8 o'clock as well.
Okay.
So that way we have people sometimes to come out and get the food early.
Right.
Yes.
So it's 11:30 to 2:30. And what was the beginning? 4:30 in the evening? What time is the dinner?
4:30. We'll do 4:30 until 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay.
Yes.
Now, 4:30 to 8 o'clock. Okay. Now you'll have to obviously, if they want to order, tell them how they go about ordering.
Ordering?
Yes, ma'am.
We prefer that you can call ahead of time. That'd be great.
All right.
So it's safer that way. And then the food is ready when you come in. To pick up, you can come in, or you can wait in a car, and we can bring it out to you.
Okay, so it's curbside delivery, right?
Yes.
All right. But now, if someone was in the neighborhood and they really don't want to have to, is there a possibility they could stop at the door and ask you to put an order in, and they wait for it in their car? Can they? I mean, just in case.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They can do as well. They can do that too.
Well, some of the places want and I understand it's easier for you all if they order in advance, because you can have it ready for them when they come, as opposed to having them to wait. Especially since they can't really wait inside, they have to either wait in their car or stand up outside.
Exactly.
So that's the way we'll do it. All right. So and then before we close, I do want you to give the phone number, because people might want to start ordering. But let's talk about right now. Can they order anything from your full menu or no?
Yes. Okay. Before you do that, you just ask us what we have available. Most of it is available at this time. Okay. Besides our regular menu, and then we still have the small menu that you can order too, which is off the menu.
I know, but hold for a second. So if someone's not been to your restaurant, is not familiar, you're not ready to call out every item. Your menu is very large. So
I know.
is your menu on a website or something that they can look your full menu, as well as hopefully your new menu? Where is that they can look for your menu? Where can they find that?
Well, they can go to our website, cafemin.com, or they can go to our Facebook, and we have the menu already posted on the Facebook as well, and Instagram.
But wait. Is it cafemin.com or cafeminnola.com? What is your website?
Cafemin.com.
Okay, so it's www.cafemin, and that's spelled MINH.com, and you'll see the full menu there. So when you're ready, if you want something from that, make your list. When you call them, see if they have it. If for some reason stocks are going to be depleting as this thing grows, unfortunately, and sometimes they're not able to restock ingredients that they would need. So some dishes may fall by the wayside during this period, depending on how long this period lasts. But right now, if you find something on the menu, don't hesitate. On the full menu, don't hesitate to ask and see if you can go ahead and get it on the day or the evening that you want. Now, let's go into, you've been gracious enough to also, and I know you're anxious, I can hear you, have created a smaller menu for people during this period, which may or may not last, and that's on your Facebook. And is it also on your website, or just the full menu?
Just on the Facebook.
Okay. And so Facebook, what is your Facebook? Cafe Min-Nola? Is that where Cafe Min-Nola comes in, or no?
No, just Cafe Min. You go to our website, and it's connected to our Facebook, so you don't have to go to another website. Just go out to our website, and then they bring it to the Facebook.
Okay.
To our Facebook, yeah.
All right. And you say you also have it on other platforms? It's Instagram. What did you say? Where else did you say the menu would be?
Well, we have the short menu, and then we do have a family meal with so you can do by food tray, or the half pan, or the full pan also.
Okay. So there's different variations. Basically, your family plan is more geared toward a catering menu, where you order.
Correct.
Several of the other restaurants, and you may want to consider this, I'll be glad to send it to you, are actually taking it a different step, where they're creating a fixed option of 1 or 2 menus per 2 people course and a 4 people course. And they might have 3 ingredients. They'll have a salad or a soup, an entree, and maybe a dessert for a fixed price. So when they're saying family meal, they're using that. What you're really using right now is what normally we would consider to be a catering menu if you're having a party, because these are coming in your pans, as opposed to a portioned amount for only 2 people, or a portioned amount only for 4 people. Let's start with if you don't mind, let's start with your menu for this family menu and tell us what's available, if you don't mind. Okay.
the family menu?
Yes. Can you tell us what is being offered on the family menu? Mm-hmm.
Well, for the family meal, we have pasta jambalaya, and so we have a penny pasta with shrimp, with the New Zealand shrimp, and we have an alligator sausage.
Oh boy!
That's the pasta jambalaya.
Okay. Now, what size pans do you have of that? How many?
We have a half pan or a full pan.
Okay. Now, a half pan, for those who can't figure out that kind of volume, how many would that feed as an entree?
You can serve up to 8 people.
8 people on a half pan.
Yes.
And the full pan, about how many? Twice that number?
About like 15 to 20, depend how hungry you are.
Oh, good. Now, are you able to give out the prices or not? Or you just find out?
The prices are on the Facebook.
Okay.
And the other prices we list on the Facebook.
Okay.
Also, yeah.
Right, no
so you can check the price.
All right. So the first entree we're talking about is pasta jambalaya, good old Italian and Cajun food. What else do we have?
And then we have a white bean and rice.
Ooh,
if you don't like protein, you can do just white bean and rice. And if you want to add protein to it, shrimp is available. So we have white bean and rice with shrimp. Ooh, sounds tasty.
Oh my goodness! So, how do you? What ways do you prepare the shrimp for the white bean and rice dinner?
We do the same thing: a half pan or a full pan.
No. How do you prepare? Is it fried? Shrimp? Is it grilled?
The shrimp is gonna be the shrimp. We're gonna do a sauté shrimp.
Okay, beautiful.
But if you like fry, it's an option. You can request it. If you want to fry, we can do that too.
Sure, but well, folks, now you see, at the beginning, I was trying to tell them that this restaurant is not strictly Vietnamese. It has wonderful traditional Vietnamese dishes, but it has wonderful Orleans dishes, and sometimes those Orleans are fused with Asian influence. So here's one that is a staple in the New Orleans and also the southwestern community: white beans and rice. I mean, other than red beans, that's the most popular bean. And then to add shrimp, that is so Western Louisiana Cajun country that is perfect. Now, I have to interject right there. Is there a chance that, because I think I know that you all offer brown rice instead if someone doesn't want white rice?
Unfortunately, due to this crisis, all we can get is the white rice, jasmine rice only. Yes.
No problem. Well, I just want, some people are, I prefer brown rice on everything, but I will eat white rice rather than not eat it. But we just don't want people to call up and then be disappointed at the last minute if they're ready to eat. They're hungry and they find out they only eat brown. So it's white rice, shrimp, white beans, which is done beautifully, folks. If you tasted others, some people, everybody's got their favorite. Where's the best red beans? Where's the best? You're going to really enjoy these because I just had it about 2 weeks ago and it's absolutely delicious again. So white beans, white rice, and shrimp as an option. Again, done in the half and full pan. Anything else? I know we have a few more.
Well, you know what? Since we are in New Orleans,
there we go.
So we would like to offer everybody coffee etouffee. How about that?
All right. And you're hitting good things because right now, New Orleans is such a
crawfish season.
And not only crawfish season, it's also Lent, and most of our citizens, a good portion, this was a Catholic town. It was founded, by the Catholics. And so many still follow the old traditions of, and I do because I'm old, no meat on Fridays. So we have to look for those kind of combinations of shrimp and crab, crawfish, and fish. And crawfish etouffee, again, is so synonymous with New Orleans. So that is really good. So anything, and again, it's on white rice, and that's how you serving it, right?
Right, of course. Gotta have rice,
So whether you enjoying crawfish as we start the season, whether you're enjoying Lent, this is a good way to enjoy Lent, not be always punishing. Here's the perfect situation. All right, anything else what we're offering?
We have plenty. We have like pasta with cream sauce. You can do a vegetarian, or you can add the protein to that as well. The option is going to be a shrimp or chicken.
Okay, now let's stop on there for a second. When you say pasta with cream sauce, again, there's several different cream sauces. And like They have
white cream.
I know, but wait, let me explain. But many times the white cream is the heavy Alfredo cream sauce, which I normally don't eat except for once in a great while. I don't believe your sauce is that heavy. Do you know the difference between the Alfredo cream sauce and I think your version is much lighter, thinner than the heavy cream? Is that right? I'm not saying you don't use heavy cream.
Right, very light. It's not heavy.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I want because some people like myself don't really. I would not eat Alfredo except for once in a while because it's just so heavy. Exactly. So and that's why I wanted to interrupt you. I'm sorry because I've had yours before, your white sauces, and they are delicious. So if you're worried about it being Alfredo, it's not. It's nowhere near it. It is a white cream sauce, but very light. A lot of the food here is light. They're very filling, but very, very light. So that's good and healthy in many ways. Okay, so we got white cream sauce with rice or spaghetti or rice or pasta or just pasta? How are you offering the cream sauce?
Well, the cream sauce with what kind of pasta?
Okay. And then
any pasta.
And then vegetables for the vegetarian or
we
protein?
Have you can do with a vegetable, like a vegetarian dish, or you can add the protein to that. That's also
perfect. All right. Anything else? Let's see what else.
And then we have a stir fry noodle with the Asian stir fry and with sweet potato noodle.
Wow.
So it's delicious.
Well, yes.
And then we do with the protein could be chicken, beef, shrimp. Okay. You can pick one of each, or you can do a combination.
Okay. And that's stir fry, right?
Yes, stir fry noodle with vegetable.
Okay.
And then the protein we offer beef, chicken, or shrimp.
And do they have a choice option on the type of noodle, or it's just a standard noodle that you all use?
Oh, just on one kind noodle.
Okay.
This noodle is very the glass noodle.
Glass noodle.
No, right. But this one they make out of sweet potato, and it's delicious. It's one of my favorite noodles.
Yeah, sweet potatoes are getting a lot of trending. Not just the old way of eating a beautiful, which is nothing wrong with a whole baked sweet potato with butter, but I mean they're getting these introduction into other modes like this, using it as a noodle. So that's really great. Or the dessert.
It's delicious. You're gonna like it.
Oh, definitely. So there we go. So it's stir fry with sweet potato noodles, and your choice of protein or vegetables. Is that correct?
Right. Correct.
Okay. Can we move on? Is there more?
Yeah. I mean, guess what? I'm gonna have a shrimp fried rice. Everybody asked for shrimp fried rice, so here we are. I'm gonna do unusual menu, so we do a shrimp fried rice.
Excellent. And folks, everybody does shrimp fried rice because here in New Orleans, and I think in many parts of the country, America, Chinese food was the first introduction to any kind of Asian food, and it's still very prevalent. The good thing, though, as we started broadening out to two things: one, Vietnamese, and two, Thai, are these flavors. Even though the dishes sound the same and are predominantly the same ingredients, they're much lighter. Chinese fried food and sauces are heavy. They're delicious, but once again, we talked about the heaviness. If you ever do a comparison of the sauces, they're much heavier. And the good thing about Thai food, they're in between China and India. They have some Indian influence with regard to the seasonings.
So that's so spicy. There's a lot of things spicy.
But what's good about it here is that, for people who've never had Vietnamese cuisine and are scared from that, we like to show that there are numerous dishes that are identical to Chinese with regard to content and name, but are done on usually a lighter basis. And that doesn't mean it doesn't have a flavor, just the opposite. It's just, so here's a good chance. If you a fried rice person, which is totally understood, try cafe Min's rice and see if you don't find it as, if not more enjoyable than the traditional fried rice that you get at one of the other restaurants. Okay.
Right.
All right. And what else? Anything else?
And then everybody likes salad, right? You have to have a salad or soup to go with your dinner to complete. So we offer a salad, a Mexican green, baby lettuce with different kind of dressing that we have available in house. Like lemongrass, cilantro, all kind of cilantro that we have.
Some of the dressings you make are in-house dressing, and like I know you're trying to say, they are delicious. In fact, for a while, you can, if you find one you like, you can actually order it and they'll bottle it for you. It's really good. So they're
right.
Now, can I ask? Now, the salads, though, are going to be served individual proportions, not family style, not a tray, half a tray.
It's the same thing. It's a family style. I mean, this is we're talking about family style.
So everything.
So yes.
So it's not just limited to the entree. These other things are family style. So now, let's talk about soups. You all offer now the traditional Vietnamese soup, which I never pronounced correctly. Spelled PHO. Some people say pho, some people pho.
Pho.
Yeah. So who knows is the correct? You all know, but the Americans never guess. The thing about a pho is that it's phenomenal. Not only with the wonderful vegetables and ingredients and the broth, but they're huge bowls. Very few people can sit there unless they're starving and eat a whole bowl of. So once again, would this be a family size or would be your traditional pho? If we're talking about the pho. What would be,
pho you have to get individual. We don't do family style.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you can do that, but again, you're gonna find.
Oh no, it's gonna be hectic.
Yeah, but you're gonna find that it feeds at least two. A typical pho will feed at least two. Now, what are the besides all the wonderful fresh Vietnamese greens and all that are put in there that you all grow it or get locally? What are some of the whether it's protein and or seafood that can be put in a pho? Or are you only doing one type now? What are you doing now?
We do for pho. We do beef pho.
Okay.
We do chicken pho.
Okay.
And a vegetarian pho.
Okay.
So vegetable pho.
So would a vegetable pho be including tofu or just vegetables?
Well, tofu, you have bok choy. You have Napa cabbage, you have bean sprout, so all that go into your vegetable. So you're saying
it's not just your typical American vegetables. A lot of Asian
right.
are phenomenal.
Yeah, we add a little bit in there too. So
okay, so we got the soup. Now, are there other soups available or just the pho? I just want to make sure people know.
Well, we do have our favorite soup. I mean, our customer favorite is the sweet corn with crab meat soup that you can order by pint, by a quart or pint.
Okay, now quart
or gallon if you like.
No, yeah, but I mean, like again, comparing it for a family, like you said, the family size half pan of entree would be for about eight people. So how many? Would it be a quart or not a gallon?
It should be a quart, yeah. I'll be do like quart, like for you can serve up to like 3 people in a quart.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you got your pho, or you've got this wonderful shrimp and crab. Oh, you can't beat it's really a bisque because it's a cream-based soup. Is that correct?
No cream.
Oh, no.
It's no cream base. It is a sweet corn and crab. Is no cream in there.
Excellent. Well,
it's a chicken base and nachos sweet from the corn. So no cream.
Beautiful. Because see, that's why whenever someone says, "Oh, we have crab and corn soup, we have shrimp and corn, we have," it's always at all the other restaurants, most of the other restaurants, and certainly the American ones, it's always a cream base. And my best friend loves it. I don't. So, and I think I've tried yours before. It's just you have so many other soups because you do daily soups when we're in the restaurant, and I always go with your special of the day soup. But I have to try this one because I do like, I don't like the cream in that content. So I know it's going to be delicious if you all don't use the cream. Okay, what else? Is there anything else on the menu that they can get to go?
Well, that's the family meal menu that we just talk about. And then we have like individual menu, like individual dishes that you can order also, like some appetizers.
So like small plates. Like small plates?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead. If you don't mind, if you have the time, let's continue because we've got the time.
Well, I have a few more minutes because I have a big order coming in.
Glad to hear. Well, can you detail a little bit about these others until you're ready to go?
Sure.
So go ahead and tell us what we got on the small plate.
Well, for appetizer, right now we do that summer roll, the cold fast, the cold one, the fast roll. And then we have fried spring rolls with chicken or seafood. And then we have coconut shrimp. I think that's one of your favorites, right? Coconut shrimp?
I eat it, but it's not. But nah. Anyway, I like your crusted oysters, which we don't want to talk about. But folks, in case you're not familiar, the two types of rolls, which you'll see in Chinese restaurants and Thai, etc., is the typical Chinese roll is a fried egg roll, which they include and have wonderful stuffing, the great vegetables. But they also do more the Japanese roll, which was introduced to America, which is a rice paper covering that's not fried at all and stuffed with wonderful, usually shrimp or meat and or vegetables. So you can have either or both on this menu.
You can have both.
Right. And then the coconut shrimp, if you've never had it, but I know that's all over most American restaurants as an appetizer. It's basically fried shrimp, but the batter includes the coconut, so it's crusty and with that wonderful coconut flavor. Okay, anything else before you go?
And then with entree, we have like chicken roti, the gal roti.
Now let's tell them what that is.
Steamed vegetable.
They don't know.
That's the chicken, cute chicken breast marinade in lemongrass, curry and lemongrass. And we sear them, and then we cook in our wonderful citrus sauce and reduce it down. So, and then it's served with rice and steamed vegetables.
And what are the options there? Chicken and what was the other option?
They'll have a chicken, or you can do tofu.
Okay.
You do chicken or tofu.
And that's called roti, folks.
Roti, yes.
R-O-T-I.
Yes.
We've got to be ABC here because not everyone knows all this stuff. So I know you know it and I know it, but it's not fair to them. We don't want to make them feel intimidated because they don't understand what we say.
Oh, no, we won't do that.
There you go. Well, anyway.
And then we have curry shrimp pasta, and then we have a seafood pasta, and then we have a stir-fried chicken or shrimp also. So we have a variety of menu that right now is available to everyone.
Now let's talk a little bit about curry. What type curry do you use and how spicy?
It's red curry.
Okay. And how spicy is that? There's red, yellow, green, and musaban.
Oh, no, it's mild. It's mild. It's not spicy at all.
And is there a protein or something in that particular pasta with curry? Like chicken?
With shrimp. We can do it with shrimp or chicken.
All right, good. All right. And one last thing. Is it too much trouble to do dessert in your to-go menu? If someone wanted dessert?
We have dessert available. We didn't post it up, but we do have it available. Like we have chocolate cake, chocolate ganache, bread pudding. So I mean, you have call in and then and find out what we have for the day and see what we have available.
So, but the full menu includes your list of desserts, and you just ask if you find one, if that's available that day, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Correct.
All right. Anything else? If not, I'm going to ask you to review two things. I want you to tell the folks again your address, your times for serving the food, and this time we're going to give out the phone number so that people can place orders. Okay. So let's start.
Okay.
Let's start. What is the address, including the zip code?
Okay. So our address is 4139 Canal Street, New Orleans, Louisiana 70119. And our phone number is 482-6266.
Wait, we got to put the area code. So area code.
Area code
504. Go ahead.
482. 6266.
6266. Okay,
that's correct.
All right, now tell them the two times that you're providing food. Lunch is at what time?
Lunch hour is from 11:30 until 2:30.
Okay, 11:30 to 2:30.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. Now are you doing anything on the weekends or no?
And then the weekend on Saturday we only do dinner, and the dinner is from 4:30 until 8 o'clock.
And that's the same,
including Saturday.
Right. So it's Monday through Saturday, dinner 4:30 through 8.
Correct.
Lunch is not served on Saturday, right? And Sunday you're closed.
No lunch on Saturday.
Sunday's your rest day always, which is good. Good old thing. Okay. Well, folks, it has been a delight. Cynthia, I really appreciate you coming on. I even look more forward to the reappearance at Restaurant Revue, where people can actually take a look at some of this food to really whet their appetites, especially if this crisis goes on longer than we anticipate. So that way they can actually come in and see your beautiful restaurant and see the magnificent food. Anything else you want to tell the people besides call now and call quick? What do you want to tell them?
Well, call us when you're hungry. We are here for you, and just be safe. And we're looking forward to hear from you. So I guess that was it.
Great, you did great.
And you have a great, wonderful day.
Okay, and for folks,
and it's beautiful outside.
Yeah. So if you missed this and you want to see it, or your friends want to see it, we're on YouTube channel REVUE, and you can see this program replayed any time of the day or night. That's what's good about 24/7. So someone's not at home for some reason, even though we're hoping more people will be at home nowadays. But still, if you missed a live one, it'll be repeated anytime on that YouTube channel. Thank you, Cynthia, very much. I'm going to stay on.
Thank you so much, Bob. Good talking to you.
Same
and
here.
We're looking forward to seeing you soon, too.
Oh, yeah. You better believe it. I'm hungry. Thank you, sweetheart. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye, Bob. Okay.
All right, folks. That was Cynthia, co-chef and owner of Cafe Minh. You got the address. Telling you it's well worth the effort. She even will let you order at the door if you like. Can't come in, unfortunately, because of the rules. But it's better to give her a number, which she gave out. Give them a call. Look on their website, which was www.cafeminh.com, and you should be able to see their full menu as well as Facebook under that same title, and just start picking some of the items. Now, as we said, she's just launched this new family menu, which is basically somewhat of a catering menu in half pans and full pans that we discussed. But they should be on the website, I'm sure, by now. So if you want to really feed you got a larger family, it's not just yourself like me or just one other person. That's where you need to go to get and have you can't have a party. So got to keep that party to 10 people. Remember that. All right, folks, let's see what else. Well, we still got some time. Good. So what we're going to do now, we haven't seen any comments coming in. I'm sorry on that. We were hoping that some of you all would take to the airways with regard to not the airways, but the text ways. Now we're going to go ahead and there it is. All right. So what happens now is we are now open for discussion. This is our phone number here at Rant Revue, 504. So it is a chargeable call. Hopefully you have unlimited calls. 504-383-3654. 504-383-3654. So what we're doing is on Rant Revue, we're running 2 shows a day for now, 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. If we don't get any callers or we don't have a topic that lasts the whole hour, we will close it usually within the half hour. If I'm looking correctly, we've done 45 minutes. So this is great. So we'll definitely keep those out. So don't hesitate. If you put a comment, public comment or chat on Facebook or YouTube, we'll catch it. We saw one gentleman put it on, but just saying it's coming out. Everything's going fine with regard to the video and the sound. Sometimes we've had some technological problems, mainly to this old fogey who is not good at multitasking. But if you have a restaurant that you want to know about, we'll promise you this. If we don't have that answer, which we don't have a master list of all the restaurants and what they're doing, we're trying to compile it just like people are, try and save you the time of calling all these restaurants. In the afternoons, we'll do surveys of what we've surveyed after the morning show, of who's open, how are they providing their delivery of their food, stuff like that. Whether it's real delivery or you have to go pick it up. There's no delivery at Cafe Minh other than using, I believe, a traditional service, one of these third-party services. You can call and verify the date, but I know they're not providing delivery at the present time. That could change. Everything's in flux. So this afternoon, as I mentioned, we'll be going through my contacts from the L to Z segment and letting you do it. And what we try to do is pick a variety of restaurants, not all upscale, not all po' boy shops. We try and do the gamut so you can get it. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the thing, we're very fortunate. We've been in contact with starting to contact our council folks in New Orleans, and some of them are already taking initiatives, particularly Cindy Nguyen of District Eastern New Orleans, has compiled a list, and I'm sure you can find it. It's on her website or wherever else she posts at Facebook. We're going to see what questions she's asked. Most of them is whether they're open and what are their hours, and do they is it take up, what is the number. We ask a few more questions, a little more detail of whether you can order it at the door or advance, whether they have any delivery capabilities, stuff like that. And that way we're able. What we'll do is we'll go district by district as we get the information, and we'll spend the afternoon shows detailing those restaurants that are included in the survey that we actually did or were able to retrieve from one of our well-known representatives. The other representative, Helena Moreno, is doing a similar thing for across because she's she's the current council president, or at large, I think they call it. Some of them are at large and they rotate presidency. Anyway, she's been very kind, and she's started her listing where people are just making comments on the restaurant. So we're going to actually ask her for additional ones this morning. So we're going to wait a few days, and then sometime next week probably do hers, which will be a broader base than Cynthia's, which is strictly District E, but still carrying a lot of the area, since she's as the council at large or lady at large is responsible for all districts. Hopefully a better profile of restaurants throughout the community. As we said, we've got about 9 more minutes, so if you want to call in there, now's the time. 504-383-3654. Get on the chat, public chat, or comment on Facebook or YouTube. Send us something there. We'll bring it up. Again, as you know, the fledgling station unofficially started in January, officially February. We've created 15 programs. There's more to come. That offers a wide scope of interest. And that's the whole idea of here, to get you interested in a particular show or many of the shows. Most of these I can't handle myself because of not being that knowledgeable of every one of these topics. So I'm always looking for one of two things: either a co-host to do it permanently with me on a particular topic, like gardening. I set out we want to do gardening tips and also floral arrangement tips for people. So we've sent out a request there to different people to see if they would co-host either on a periodic or a recurring weekly basis, because we'd like to have that program up and running. And I'm the worst person. I have the worst stuff. I just wasted tons of money on trying to do a garden for the first time in 15 years. And if we had 3 things survive, we had plenty. So I'm not the one to ask that. So we want to bring people who are familiar, even if they're not experts, but who do a good job of planting, whether it's their own vegetables or whether they know how to make the beauty of life with regard to florals. So if you know anyone of any of the talents on the shows that we listed, you can go through and see our shows, PSAs or whatever our titles of all the shows we have. As you know, the ant behind me will indicate, for the most part, other than 3 shows, will indicate the category. And the color will be a bright color as opposed to the drab gray, and they will be holding something that is representative of the show itself. But send me an email if you still use that. I don't, but I follow any notification I get of an email, and that's bob@rrevue.net. Not com. Com won't come back to you, but we don't have email on the .com anymore. So we do appreciate you setting it that way. You can Facebook me under my name, which is on there, Bob Bockelman, or one of the other 2. You know, we have one called The New Deal, and the other one, which is NOTVIN, the name of the network. So you can use any of those Facebook messenger situations, and we'll get the message and follow up with you accordingly, either to yourself if you want to be a guest, or if you want to be a host, or know someone we should direct. If you give us the contact information as much as you have, we'll follow it up, because we're anxious to continue programming to the community and to the world, really. So we need to start getting some chefs and artists from outside the local area. The problem being, of course, the coronavirus. So that is really shutting down a lot of avenues, even though you would think people would be more willing to come on now because somewhat they have more time, but they really don't. They are sterilizing their restaurants. They're trying to offer, just as Cafe Minh, some food service so they can stay in business. A lot of just rethinking what they're doing. But we will continue to solicit not only local but also throughout the USA and the globe, because we have some fans in India who come on, so an artist from India before this virus. So we are giving you really good exposure to just like traveling. In fact, we got a new traveling show that was ready to develop debut, but this thing hit. So we both have agreed our co-hosts. I do have a co-host from England, from the other channel, from across the pond. And that gentleman is anxious, but we both agree this is not the time to be broadcasting travel, since that capability is almost non-existent. So let's pay attention to the ones that we think we can entertain you with and you have access to. So don't forget, this afternoon, Rant Revue will be on at 2 p.m. and we'll be going over the restaurant information from which the individual survey I'll be doing after I hang up here. All right, folks, it's Bob Bockelman for Rant Revue and for the New Orleans TV and the network. We do appreciate you paying attention to us, and tell a friend, subscribe to our channel. Really, I need some. My numbers are pitiful. It's a shame. So many friends of mine are way up there, and I hope mine's somewhat entertaining. I don't want to get too frustrated. So please tell somebody, even if you never watch, just go ahead and subscribe. It's for free. REVUE. So I can get some respectability. I appreciate that. Been in the business long enough, so hopefully I have a reputation. If you know me about certain items that I do, we have a Know Your Nonprofit. That's another one that we'll be doing next week, I believe, on a great new one in New Orleans. And we're talking to another one that's coming. So we have all those categories. We'll talk to the tarot, which was on last night. Very informative, where our medium reads tarot cards, and also the psychic, she actually contacts or is contacted by people who have passed. Okay, again, tons of fun for me. Hopefully it's a little bit for you. Until 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Bob Bockelman signing off.